Hello and welcome to STEM with Mr. N, where I perform different demonstrations and explain the science behind what we're seeing. This week is computer science, and I'll have a wee look at robots on Mars as I explore the latest update of Marty the Robot. Let's check it out. Marty is a walking educational robot made by Robocube, who are based in Edinburgh, Scotland. If you're a teacher in the UK, Australia, Canada or the United States of America, you can arrange to have a free trial of Marty the Robot for your school. I've put a link in the description for you to arrange contact with Robocube to sort out your free trial. I've done videos on Marty the Robot before. The first one looked at the basics of Marty and how to code with him at that time, which included coloured cards to go with a colour sensor on his foot, a controller within the app, and also some block coding. I then did a second video where I extended the learning about block coding to look at parallel coding with the blocks. But now, Robocube have brought out a new version of the app which has a stepping stone between the coloured cards and the previous type of blocks that were the only ones available. So let's check it out. Once you have updated your Marty v2 app and open it up, you will see now down in the bottom right hand corner there is Marty Blocks, which takes you to the type of block coding that was there before. But in the bottom left there is Marty Blocks Jr, and that is a new update to the app. When you click on that, it opens up a version of Scratch Jr specifically designed for use with Marty the Robot. By pressing on the home button, it takes you to the projects page, and you can create a new project by pushing the plus sign inside the white rectangle in the top left. This now opens up what is called the stage, where you can see a top-down view of Marty inside the white rectangle. Now, the thing that makes Marty Blocks Jr an excellent stepping stone between the coloured cards and the type of blocks that were the only ones available previously is that Scratch Jr blocks are all pictorial. It shows you on each block what that block is going to do. If you're not sure what a block does, you can tap and hold on it and a text box will appear to tell you what the block does, such as Marty get ready, move forward and move left. To code with Marty Blocks Jr, you tap and hold on the block that you want and drag it down into the coding area. If I pull down move forward and then tap on the 1, numbers appear on the right, which allows me to update this 1, and I'm going to set it to 5, so Marty will do 5 steps forward. I'm going to pull down a move backward and join it onto the move forward just like a jigsaw piece and change that 1 to a 5. Then I'm going to add on a move left, change that 1 to a 5, and finally add on a move right and change that 1 to a 5. Now when I push the first block in that sequence, you will see the Marty on the stage following out these actions. These blue blocks here are movement blocks, but if I tap on the yellow section to the left, you'll see there's now a block there with a green flag in it, and I can attach this onto the start of my coding. This now means that I can start my coding by pushing the green flag above the stage rather than pressing on the first button in the code. If you click into purple, you will see you can change Marty's eye movements as well as his waving. If you click into green, you can set the different sounds that Marty can play. In orange, you can set a wait time, a stop button and a repeat loop. And in red, there is an overall stop button and a permanent loop button. Right now, I've been using the app without being connected to a Marty robot, and you'll see in the top left it says that I'm not connected. But by tapping on that bit, the app automatically starts scanning for a nearby Marty, and once it's found one, you simply tap on the Marty name and make sure the colours on the app match up with the colours on the back of Marty, tap yes, and now the app is connected to Marty and is ready to use in Marty Blocks Jr. So because my robot is now connected to the app, if I start the programming in this app, you will notice that my robot moves at the same time as the top-down view of Marty on that stage, following out the exact same movements. The Marty in the app moves the equivalent distance of the Marty in real life, only my Marty isn't really sliding left and right because his feet are getting a wee bit stuck to the tablecloth that I've got. Another great feature about Marty Blocks Jr is that you can add in a background by tapping on the button up above the stage, which is the green fields and the blue sky. Unfortunately, you are not yet able to add your own background into Marty Blocks Jr, so you can't take a picture of the floor Marty will be walking on and watch him explore that floor in the app. However, there are 3 options here provided by Robotical. There's a Martian landscape, a red carpet and a wooden floor. I'm going to select the Martian landscape, and you'll see now the top-down view of my Marty standing on Mars with a rover down in the bottom left-hand corner. This is where you can get really creative with the app and with your Marty robot. To date, NASA have sent 5 rovers to Mars. These are robots which can drive about the Martian surface and explore where humans can't. These 5 rovers have been Spirit, Sojourn, Opportunity, Curiosity, and the most recent one, Perseverance, was landed on Mars in February of this year, 2021. The mission for Perseverance is to try to detect signs of ancient life on Mars and also to collect samples which can later be sent back to Earth. This is where I'm going to get creative and make up a story for why Marty is on Mars. It's now the future, and Marty has been sent to Mars to collect some samples that have been left behind by Perseverance. On this landscape there are 4 major craters which Marty will need to avoid, and I'm going to imagine that the sample tub he's to collect is slightly above that big crater on the right hand side. I want to code Marty to walk a route in between the craters, collect that sample tub and walk back to his rover, but he cannot take the same route to get the samples as he takes to get back to his rover. Another great thing about Marty Blocks Jr is because you can code and watch how Marty would move without actually needing to be connected to the robot, is that pupils can be engaged in the coding and problem solving without actually having to have a robot with them, because most people will not have a robot for every pupil or maybe even every pair. I'm also going to extend it beyond just watching Marty move about on the app. On the floor in another room, I have stuck down pictures of 4 craters and a picture of a sample tub to represent the same distances that Marty will be moving on the screen in the app. First, I'm going to code Marty in the app to work out a route between the craters, collect the tub and get back to his rover. And then I'm actually going to test it with my Marty in that other room to see if he can dodge the craters and get back successfully to his rover. I'm not going to show you the coding that I am putting together for Marty to follow this route, because you can download the Marty V2 app for free, and I want you to try and figure out what coding I have used for Marty to follow the route that you are currently watching on your screen. You can send your ideas to stemwithmrn@outlook.com, and I look forward to seeing how close you get to it. Now that I have found a successful way for Marty to navigate these craters and get back to his rover, I am going to test Marty out on the floor in the other room to see if he can successfully dodge those craters, collect the sample tub and get back to his rover. It was a bit tricky at times because Marty's feet were sometimes slipping on the flooring in there, and the floor might not be perfectly flat, which can also make it a wee bit tricky for his feet. However, he did manage to get in between the craters, walk over the top of the sample tub and get back to the rover without repeating any of the route, and most importantly without falling into any of the craters, and we got to see his celebratory dance. So I would say that was a success. Well, that's all for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. I've put links in the description for you to check out the other Marty videos that I've done, and also that link for you to arrange contact with Robotical for a free trial. I'm also looking forward to seeing the coding ideas that you came up with that you think I used to get Marty to follow that route. As always, I would like to take this opportunity to answer any science questions you have about any science topics at all. So feel free to email me at stemwithmrn@outlook.com and I'll get back to you with answers to your questions. You can subscribe to the channel by pushing the button here, and I've added links here to the other STEM demos I've done so far, here to my STEM career interviews, and here to my robot review videos. This has been STEM with Mr. N, exploring the latest update of Marty.